Bonjour et bienvenue à une autre vidéo de français avec Monsieur Robichaud. Hello and welcome to another French help video with Mr. Robichaud. Today we're going to be talking about les articles définis en français, definite articles in French, and we're going to be focusing on le, la, les, and el apostrophe today. So let's begin with talking about what exactly is an article. An article is a word that's used to modify or describe a noun. It is found right before the noun. There are two different types of articles that can be used depending on a situation: definite or indefinite articles. A definite article gives you the exact and precise description of the noun. For example, the dog is fast. The definite article there would be the. An indefinite article describes something that is not clear or precise. For example, a dog is fast. So, very briefly, in the first example, the dog is fast, it's a more specific example. We're talking about a specific dog. And in the second example, a dog is fast, we're usually talking about something more general. So in that case, I would be talking about dogs in general are fast. In today's video, we're going to be focusing on the definite article. And in English, the only definite article we have is the. And in French, can you guess how many ways we have to say the? If you guessed 4, you are correct. In French, we have 4 different ways to say the. So you may ask, why do we have 4 ways to say the? Well, remember in French, we have that thing, masculin, féminin, singulier, pluriel. In order to pick the right version of le, la, les, or el apostrophe, we need to be looking at masculin, féminin, and singulier, pluriel. In English, we call this the gender and number. So, if we look at the first one, masculin singulier, to say the, in French, we would say le. So that's le garçon, the boy. Okay. If you want to talk about a girl in French, or something that's feminine, you would use la. For example, la fille, the girl. Now, if you want to talk about something that's plural in French that has more than one, it doesn't matter if it's masculine or féminin, we're just going to use the article les. Les amis, the friends. Now we have this fourth one, el apostrophe, and let's figure out when we would use this one. Well, we use the el apostrophe when an article ends with a vowel and the noun starts with a vowel or the letter H. Now, this may sound confusing, but let's look at an example, and I promise you it'll be a lot more clear. So over here we have le arbre, which in English means the tree. Now, le is an article, and arbre is the noun. If you notice, le ends with an E, and arbre starts with the A. So I have an article that ends with a vowel, and I have a noun that starts with a vowel. In French, we can't have this. So what we do is we take off the E from le, the article, and we trade it for an apostrophe, which makes it l'arbre, which in French sounds a lot better than le arbre. We do the same thing for words that start with the letter H, for nouns that start with the letter H. For example, le hôpital means the hospital. So we notice that le ends with the vowel E and hôpital starts with an H. Now in French, most H's are silent, which is why we're going to treat it almost like a vowel in this case. So we're going to take the E from le out, and we are going to trade it for an apostrophe, which turns into l'hôpital. This is one of my most favorite questions that I get asked on a daily basis. Monsieur, how do I know if it's masculine or feminine? Well, there's 2 rules that I go by, and it works 90% of the time. If a word ends with the letter E, 75% of the time it's feminine. For example, un livre, which is a book, une pédale, which is a pedal, une tasse, which is a cup or a mug, and une boîte, a box. If a word ends with the letters I-O-N, usually it is feminine. For example, opinion, opinion, organisation, which is an organization, and friction, friction. But be careful, fais attention. If a word ends with an S, it means it's plural, not masculine. We still need to figure out if that word is masculine or feminine. And to do that, what we need to do is we need to look at the letters before the S to find out if it's masculine or feminine. So, the first word we have is escalier, which in English means the stairs. So, let's pretend the S isn't here, and the ending of this word is ER. Well, I know that the last letter R usually means it's masculine, so let's put it in our masculine category. The second word we have is illusion. Same thing, we're going to hide the S, and it ends with the letters I-O-N. Remember our rule about letters that end in I-O-N? Usually they are feminine, so we're going to put that in our feminine column. And last but not least, we have porte. And in English, this means doors. So once again, we'll hide this S, and the last letter in this word is an E, which means it is going to be, if you guess feminine, you are correct. So remember our rules. If a word ends with the letter S, and sometimes X, it's plural. If a word ends with the letter E, it's feminine. And if a word ends with the letters I-O-N, it's also feminine. Any other time, it's most likely going to be masculine. So as always, let's do a little bit of practice together. Un peu de pratique. So the question asks us, écris l'article le, la, l'apostrophe ou les devant chaque mot. The first word we have is cahier, which in English is a workbook. So I'm going to go through my checklist. Does it end with an S or an X? No. Does it end with an E? Nope. Does it end with an I-O-N? Nope. So in this case, cahier must be masculine, and we're going to use le. So we're going to have le cahier. Second question, stylo, which are pens. So first thing, does it end with an S or an X? Look at that, it does end with an S. So automatically, I know it's going to be les, because there's only one form for masculine and feminine when it's plural. So we're going to have les stylos. The next one is fenêtre. So let's start again. Does it end with an S or an X? Nope. Does it end with an E? It sure does. So I know it's going to be féminin, and I'm going to use l'article la. La fenêtre. The next one is maison, which means house in English. Now, let's go through my checklist. Does it end with an S or an X? No. Does it end with an E? Nope. Does it end with an I-O-N? Well, it ends with an O-N, but not an I-O-N, so that means it must be masculine, and once again, we're going to use le maison. Number 5, lampe, which in English means a lamp. So let's go through my checklist. Does it end with an S or an X? Nope. Does it end with an E? It sure does. So I know we're going to use la, because la is for feminine, and we're going to have la lampe. And let's move on to the last one. Avion, which in English means airplane. So let's go through our checklist. Does it end with an S or an X? Nope. Does it end with an E? Nope. Does it end with an I-O-N? Aha, it sure does end with an I-O-N. So we know avion is going to be feminine. So we're going to put la avion. But it sounds a little weird. And second thing is, look at that. This article ends with a vowel, and the noun starts with a vowel. So remember that rule that we had, we can't have an article ending with a vowel if the noun starts with a vowel. So we need to do a little bit of trade-off. We need to take off the A from la, and we are going to trade it for an apostrophe, and it's going to turn into l'avion. So I know that last step can be a little bit confusing, but don't worry if you didn't get it, especially if you're just starting French. The more you see it, and trust me, this is very common in French, you're going to be seeing a lot of L apostrophes. The more you see it, the more automatic and second nature it's just going to start becoming in your head to look for these things. So I want to leave you guys off with these last two pictures. They're a great summary of times to use le, la, les, and L apostrophe, and just some friendly reminders. So remember, you use L apostrophe only if there's an H or the next word starts with a vowel. Okay, otherwise you're using le and la or les. And remember, les is only if there's more than one object, and it doesn't matter if it's masculine or feminine. We just use les, which hopefully makes it a lot easier for you guys. I hope that after this video, things are starting to make a little bit more sense for you guys. and that you're now all professionals on using les articles définis. Au revoir et à la prochaine.